This is how a young veteran in my riding, Nanaimo Ladysmith, described dealing with Veterans Affairs. Keep in mind, this is a young man who served our country and has PTSD. He said it's like being given a jigsaw puzzle and turning out the lights. How inhumane. My constituency office is one of many across the country flooded with urgent requests for help accessing government services. And it's not because these people do not qualify, it's because they simply cannot get through to government agencies or can't access the necessary information or forms that they require. Many tell me that they feel as if they're being systematically stonewalled by the very agencies that supposedly exist to support them. Phone lines are jammed to the point that they aren't even permitted to remain on hold or leave a message. Instead, they are advised to call back later, which yields the same result no matter what time of day they pick up the phone. Insiders readily admit to my staff that some governmental agency phone trees are designed to send people in circles and eventually drop their call because the systems are too overloaded to handle the number of calls pouring in at any minute. The agencies themselves are understaffed and under-resourced, leaving the staff that remain stretched so thin and that they're scrambling to deal with the ever-growing backlog. Wait times are stretching from days to weeks to months, whether it's a simple callback, a much-needed refund, or an anxiously awaited application approval. Canadians are waiting longer and longer, and they're suffering undue stress and financial hardship as a result. I've heard from women trying to access unemployment insurance when they're on maternal leave, trying to access the Canada Child Benefit, feeling that they're being cross-examined by agencies for funding that they are truly entitled to. I hear families separated by refugee status say the father was thought to be killed in war, but he has been discovered. He's now, his wife, now a refugee in Canada, applying to have the family reunification process take place. This young mother's children are now saying to her, we don't even believe you. We don't even believe that our father's alive because it's been so many years we've been waiting. And the parents tell me that they're missing seeing their children growing up. It's heartbreaking, and it's not fair. The summertime was the worst. It's as if Service Canada didn't anticipate that staff would be going away on holiday, and the phone lines were jammed even worse than ever. Canadians accustomed to reliable service are increasingly becoming disillusioned with our inability to help them navigate. And the shift to online platforms makes it even worse. For Canadians of all ages, where they accidentally fill out the wrong form and get kicked back when it turns out they filled out the wrong paperwork, or especially seniors, people with disabilities who do not have access to a computer or simply are not computer literate. They deeply resent being told they have to go to the web instead of dealing with a front person at the front counter. Low-income Canadians, seniors, these are the people that especially should have the support they need from our government. So my question through you, Mr. Speaker, when will this government restore Canadians' faith in the system set up to serve them, and when will the federal government reinvest in the workers to provide this service?
Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to begin by thanking the honourable member from Nanaimo Ladysmith for raising this important question. And I want to begin by assuring all members of this House that our government is determined to provide Canadians with the help that they need and that they deserve. This determination, we believe, is reflected in the service standards that have been set out for retirement pensions and employment insurance benefits and in measures that we are in taking to improve service delivery. Service standards have allowed us to evaluate the way in which Service Canada does its work and are essential to offering Canadians the best possible service. And I offer, for example, in the case of Canada Pension Plan and Old Age Security benefits, the goal is to issue payments to eligible seniors during the first month of eligibility in 90% of cases. And to date, the Department is in fact achieving this goal. In terms of how quickly employment insurance benefits are paid, the Service Canada standard is to issue the first payment of a notice of non-payment in the 28 days after a claim is made, with an annual objective of achieving the standard 80% of the time. And my colleague, I hope, will be pleased to learn that in 2016-2017, Service Canada exceeded this objective with an annual result exceeding 83%. And also for this fiscal year, the results as of September 30th was 82.5%, again surpassing our annual objective. That said, Mr. Speaker, some claims take more time to process than others, and for various reasons. And for some claims, the Department may not have received all the necessary information, or it may be necessary to validate that information on some claims to verify eligibility for benefits. And in such cases, the Department tries to issue the benefits to clients as quickly as possible, while ensuring that all the necessary information is available and has been examined in order to make the right decision. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the complexity of claims, volume is another factor that affects the Department's ability to meet service standards. Depending on the labor market conditions and other factors, this volume of benefit claims can vary significantly during the year. These variations can change claim processing speed from one week to the next, but I wish to assure my colleague that Service Canada keeps close track of the variations in claim volume and makes adjustments quickly. The Department allocates resources where they are needed so that Canadians receive their services and their benefits in a timely manner. And Mr. Speaker, we know that millions of Canadians count on the Government of Canada to gain access to the services that they are entitled to. We also know that they expect their government to offer fast, high-quality service, whether online, over the phone, or in person. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, in Budget 2017, we announced an investment of $12.1 million to develop modern approaches to service delivery for the fiscal year 2017-2018. And employment insurance will be the first program targeted for this modernization initiative. And thanks to this initiative, Canadians will have easier access to service and to benefits. And it will allow us to process claims more quickly and efficiently. And once it's complete, the Benefits Delivery Modernization Project will offer Canadians an improved, consistent, and modern client experience for all programs: employment insurance, Canada Pension Plan, and old age security. And as you can see, Mr. Speaker, in addition to existing service and processing standards, our government is taking targeted measures to improve the quality of services offered to all Canadians. The needs of Canadians are our first priority, and we will continue to ensure that they get the services that they deserve and that they are entitled to. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Nanaimo, Ladysmith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Unemployment insurance support is fully funded by payments paid by the workers. So that's not a gauge of the government's commitment to funding and supporting the frontline workers that do this processing. In Nanaimo, the place that I represent, we have a Service Canada office, but still, even sometimes Service Canada says, go up the hill to the MP's office. I have great constituency workers who do an awful lot of casework in my office, but not every MP offers that service. The system should not be dependent on MPs doing casework that the government is unable to do. And if I can just say as strongly as I can to my colleague, again, constituents say, I just want to know how long I'm going to have to wait. Why can't I get that reporting? It's heartbreaking, the stories we hear, and the system is not working as the member describes.
Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I also have a responsibility for managing a constituency office where many low-income seniors and others desperately needing help arrive at our door asking for assistance. And I quite sincerely believe it's all of our responsibility to do everything we can to ensure that Canadians have access, ready access, easy access to the services and supports that they need. I would also advise the member that during the fiscal year 2016-2017, Service Canada has made considerable progress in improving service delivery in all of its programs. We know that many of these programs and services were badly understaffed and underfunded, but they've made significant improvements over the past fiscal year, and that was thanks to the implementation of major measures aimed at optimizing processing capacity and simplifying the processes the Canadians experience. They have also a service delivery strategy which is aimed at modernizing services according to their citizens' expectation, based on our government's commitment to improve Canadians' client service experience. Mr. Speaker, we understand that Canadians expect to receive services that respond to their expectations, receive them as quickly as possible, and with all of the support that they require, and that's exactly what we are committed to offering.
The motion to adjourn the House is now deemed to have been adopted.